a great hunt, and an awesome new toy to play with. Well, welcome to Finding America. It is really nice to see you here. Well, my plans definitely changed last week as the heat is upon us, and with that, most yard hunting is now off the table for me. Digging in yards right now results in nothing but brown plugs. So I had to figure out a new permission to head off to this past weekend. Well, I was trying to figure out where I was going to go when I got a text alert on my phone, and it was telling me that a package had just been delivered on my front porch. So I left my desk, went outside, and saw a big box from Minelab. Well, I could not wait to get that thing opened, and when I did, oh boy. Well, that's right, Minelab had sent me a brand new Equinox 900, and that definitely changed my plans for this past weekend. I would not be looking for new permissions. I would be trying to decide which of my old permissions and most hard-hunted sites would be the toughest to give the Equinox 900 a go on. Well, I immediately knew exactly where I wanted to go. I had to take that machine to my Dig It All field. That place is one tough place to hunt. So after reading the online owner's manual several times the night before, I got up bright and early and headed out to have some fun with that Minelab Equinox 900. Well, it is bright and early, and just got out here. Wanted to hunt a little bit in the morning before the heat hit, and the reason I wanted to get out on a day I usually don't go out is because I got a new machine putting through the tests here, and yeah, I got an Equinox 900. And I have to say, very impressed with the changes that have been made to it. And this is, yeah, it's just a really nice machine. I really like the carbon fiber shaft, and I am running the Coiltech 10x5 coil. Now, the reason I did that is because I've been using that with the 800 here at the Dig It All field, and I thought, well, let's see what the 900 can find on the same ground I've been on before. And first signal I got was a miscellaneous piece of iron. This one was giving me, oh, let me think, it was a 28, 29, should be in the nickel range. And I dug down, and it's kind of fitting that this would be the first good thing I find out of the Dig It All field. A railroad spike. I do find a lot of them here, and a lot of you may be new to the channel, but I love finding these because it's just a great piece of history, but also it gives me a great excuse to put up an awesome train picture. Well, I was getting a 41 on the Equinox 900, and about 7 inches down, another railroad spike. Well, I'll tell you what, I don't mind that at all. So, very cool, and what the heck, here comes another train picture. Well, this next one was giving me a 73. 6 inches down. I have to say, pretty impressed with this one. Nothing much to speak of. It's some type of small washer. I'll get it cleaned up later, see if there's anything to it. It's definitely old, nice green patina. But you know, this area around this particular tree I have pounded in the past. And just to get a nice little high tone right there, that was pretty nice. Well, I'm having a lot of fun getting my Equinox 900 dirty. And this is a pretty impressive job right here. Was getting a high tone 82, 83, and I had to go through 2 massive pieces of iron, this one and this one, and I was then cleared a beautiful high tone 88, 89, and dug down, and it's pretty cool. Now, it's an old Pond's cream jar lid, but it just shows you the separation with that 10x5 coil, and Minelab claims they've really increased the separation with the 900, and I think that was a pretty good example of it. Very cool, and this is probably going to be right around 1940s, so nice little find right there. Well, this one was giving me a 32. Dug down about 8 inches and pulled out an old Champion spark plug. Pretty cool. I think it has a part number on it. I might be able to figure out what it actually fit back in the day. But that's pretty cool. It's definitely an oldie. Well, unfortunately, some other business came up and it ended my time in the field a lot earlier than I'd planned. But I was definitely having a lot of fun using and learning that 900. So Saturday, I met up with Jason. I hadn't been out detecting with him in quite a while. And we decided to hit some hard hit spots in his area. And we decided to go to the old mansion permission that we have there, that we've all hunted very hard over the years. And I really felt that was going to be a great test for the Equinox 900. Well, there's a blast from the past. We got Jason out here, and we're hunting the old mansion from many episodes ago. We were trying to beat it before they put the parking lot in, and now that's what it looks like. Beautiful blacktop. But we know the old dirt is right around the curves here, and Jason got some. What'd you get there?
I'm not sure what it is. Some kind of decorative piece. It's definitely old.
Huh.
Got some tiny little nails in it.
Yeah, little trim nails, and wow, that's definitely old. And the funny thing is, I don't know, about 30 yards away, well, you got another one of these, huh?
Yeah. Yep.
So this is your second one. I don't know what it is, but it's really cool. Definitely old. Well, I'll tell you what, if you saw last weekend's favorite find, I featured a Boy Scout token. I'm in the same yard, and I've hunted it so many times, but I thought, let's bring the 900 out, Quiltech coil, see what happens. And yeah, my second signal turned out to be a nice early weedy. And I checked it, and it's gonna be a 1916. So very cool. I was definitely, I wasn't expecting that, and it was about 6 inches deep. Gave me a pretty nice signal too.
That's fine.
Yeah. Well, I heard Jason call out and I didn't see him at first, and then he popped up over the hedge. It just made me laugh.
Sneaky. The bottom of the hole there.
Hold on a second. Oh boy, I don't know how I'm going to get in here. Let's see, I think I can get through this. Ooh.
They're prickly.
Yeah, this bush has thorns. That sounds good.
Ouch.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're getting me.
Yeah, I'll crawl in here. Wow. Oh, is it aluminum?
I don't know. I haven't pulled it out yet. I just saw
there's thorns everywhere.
Little baby spoon there.
Yeah, it might be an old play spoon. Yeah, go ahead and pull that out. Yeah, I think that's what it is.
Yeah, it looks like it.
It's going to be an old aluminum spoon to a child's play set.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Some designs on the handle. Yeah, that is cool.
Yeah, that's probably going to be 50s into the 60s, but
I can live with that.
yeah, neat find.
Yeah, I like it.
Well, just working the edges of the parking lot near that little front yard as well, and got a 79, I believe, and dug down about 6 inches. Got an old penny. I cleaned it up a little bit. It was pretty coated in a pretty thick goo, but I did get it cleaned up pretty well. And another early one. This one's going to be a 1919. So that's pretty awesome. Maybe I'll get lucky and find a bit of a higher denomination coin. Who knows? Well, you might recall the piece of that elongated souvenir penny from the 1939 to 1940 New York World's Fair that I found in last week's episode. Well, John Tannum was watching the episode, and he let me know that he thought that was actually one half of a very old handmade sweetheart's pendant. Well, that definitely piqued my interest, and I just had to go take another look at that piece. And I just happened to have another whole elongated souvenir penny from that particular World's Fair that I'd found years ago. And I laid that half on top of it. And sure enough, it was almost exactly one half of that pendant. And what sold me even further, when I looked closer at the piece I just found, was that there was a hole that had been drilled at the bottom of it so it could be worn from a necklace. Well, thanks so much, John, for catching that. And I can just picture that couple back then feeding their wheat penny into that machine to get a souvenir from their time at the fair. And they must have had a really great time at the fair, because when they got back home, they decided to cut it in half as a memento so each of them could look back and remember the amazing time they had at the New York World's Fair. Next thing was giving me a 38, and I dug down not very far, but it's a pretty cool piece. Yeah, this is an old well chain link. It's very cool. I've dug a few of these in the past, and that would have been a link to one of the chains that went down in the well. So very cool, and definitely an old piece. Well, this one was giving me a 42 signal. Turned out it was in the plug. Not very deep, but check it out. That's a pretty cool earring, it looks like. Oh, intertwined amongst the roots. There you go. Diamonds and pearls. Gotta love that. Very cool. So I guess it would hang this way. Ooh, I'll tell you what. Not too shabby. Well, I have to say it was very hot that day, and we didn't find a whole bunch, but I really had a great time getting back out there and doing some detecting with Jason. But Saturday, I decided I just had to get back on that dig it all field and see what else that Equinox 900 could find. And I have to say, I was really impressed with all the very cool things it ended up finding at that very hard hit spot. Well, I tell you, once I'm getting used to it a little bit, there are differences between the 900 and 800. I'm definitely liking the machine. It is so much lighter, even though on paper it's not that much lighter, but it's the balance and the weight savings on the carbon fiber shaft and the ability to move the cuff a lot more positions than you used to be able to. And just the whole cuff itself is more comfortable, more flexible. I don't know, it's a sweet machine, and I can really see that the engineers took some time and really put a lot of thought into it, making improvements where it was needed. Even here on the hand grip here, see it's got a little notch right here. Before it was just straight up and your hand would rest right on this sharp edge, and now you're able to hold it and your hand isn't getting rubbed raw by the corner of the control housing. So just little things I really like on it so far. The other thing is, I'm not one to take a new machine to a virgin spot and then say, whoa, look what this new machine found. I'm quite the opposite. I take it to a spot that I don't really want to hunt today. I want to take it to a place that's been beat by myself, and it's hard to get signals. So it's been doing really well out here, and this one was giving me a nice high tone, 84, 85, sometimes jumping to 90, but and I'll tell you, it was banging. And even at 6 inches, this little 2-hole one-piece sew-on button, it was just singing through. It's just amazing. That was just I thought I had a silver dime somewhere down there, but really nice piece, and yeah, definitely enjoying this one so far. Well, next signal was about 6-7 inches down. Turned out to be a bottle cap. I was actually happy to see that because that was a good target, and the 900 sniffed it out. So definitely one that I'd missed before. But I got a little bonus find. I just had to chuckle when I saw it. I thought it was a paintbrush, but it isn't. It's an old automotive accessory, and it's sold at one of the local auto parts stores, but it says Auto Whisk It. Probably for whisking out your carpets and everything, but I have to say that's pretty old. I'm thinking maybe 50, 60, somewhere in there, but definitely an old vintage piece. Well, my next thing was giving me an 86, really nice high tone. I was expecting garbage. I'm pretty close to the edge of the road, but I was pulling out a few old things as I went along, and I thought, well, not too bad, and the dirt doesn't look too bad. So about 8 inches, I popped this, and yeah, you guys know how I love finding old cap guns. Well, this is a good portion of one, but maybe it'll have something interesting on it when I clean it up. It looks like it is a Hubly. You see the Diamond H right there. So pretty cool. I will definitely take that, get it cleaned up when I get home, and get you a better look at it. Well, just going along. This one gave me a 45 to 47, about 5 inches down. I pulled out what looks to be a lantern wick holder. The top cap that the wick came through. Pretty cool, and definitely an old one. Well, this one was giving me a 62. Most of those have been bottle caps, and I thought, well, this one's a little deeper, but I'm gonna dig everything anyway. And as it turned out, not a bottle cap. What exactly it is, I'm not quite sure. A little bent up. It's got a tab over here. I'm thinking it's part to an old toy. I thought it was a steering wheel, but the tab right there is kind of throwing me. Now let's see. It's got 3 tabs that fold over. Huh. Not quite sure. My best guess is part of an old toy, but maybe one of you has a better idea. Well, I got a pretty cool one in this hole. Give me an 83, 84 on the Equinox 900. Yeah, check it out. I tell you what, if you got to find a toy car, that's the one to do it. I sprayed it off a little bit and brushed it, put it back the way I saw it, and yeah, it kind of looked like it was getting ready to drive out of its underground parking, but it's very cool. Let's see the front end on this thing. Yeah, looks like a 34 Ford. Nice little hot rod. Yeah, pretty darn good shape still too. So I'll get that cleaned up and get you a better look at it. Well, this one was giving me a nice repeatable 28. And you know me, I dig it all. So I dug down and I got this. Now this is an old milk bottle foil cap. And I checked the hole before I moved on, and there was still something in there. I figured it was another piece of it, and there it was. But I'm so glad I checked again, because look at the bonus find I got in the hole. I would have not gotten that if I hadn't gone in to clear the rest of it out. And that is really cool. I'm not sure. Look at that beautiful green glass. Huh. Must be, I don't know what it is. It's pretty cool though. Huh. Maybe a pharmacy bottle, I don't know, but that color green is just awesome. And to have the cap on it still, I will definitely take that. Well, I just had to come back because I took my pinpointer and made sure I cleared the hole out real well. I like to get all the garbage out so I don't have to dig it again later. And it went off, and so I stuck my digger and popped it, and check what came out of the sidewall. Another bottle. Is that not amazing? This one's bigger. Wow. I get a couple more of these, I can have a Matryoshka doll set, but that is pretty darn neat. Look at that. That's crazy. So, and it's another complete foil cap that was in there, so yeah, you know, I'm going to be poking around in this hole for just a little bit longer, but I'm pretty happy with what came out so far. I'll tell you what, I might have something kind of interesting here. It'd definitely be a first for me and a bit of a bucket lister. Was just getting a nice signal, nice high tone, and I dug down and I got this, and I was hoping it was going to be a Wheatie, but it turned out to be a Memorial. But I noticed something on it. It just felt small, so I grabbed my pouch and I had a dime and a penny, and I laid them out here, and check this out. That is a perfect match in size with the dime. And I'm thinking that maybe, you can see the normal size of a penny compared to that, and I'm thinking that maybe I just found a Lincoln penny that was struck on a dime planchette, which would be a really awesome mint air, and definitely a bucket lister of mine. But it does not have a reeded edge, but I don't know if the reeded edge is put on the planchette afterwards when it goes into the die. I would imagine it is. So a blank planchette that got mixed into the pennies, that would kind of explain this. Look at that. The 8 is almost, it's actually the 8 of 1968 is all the way to the outer edge. Isn't that crazy? Well, when I saw how small that penny was, I thought that perhaps it was an air coin that had been struck on a dime planchette. But if that was the case, the metal composition of that coin would have been copper nickel. And when I got home later and cleaned it up, it was pretty obvious that that was a solid copper penny. Now, what I think happened was that there was a bit of counterfeiting going on. Someone was trying to make 1 penny worth 10 pennies at a vending machine. And I have to say that it might not be too far-fetched to think that things didn't work out very well for that guy in life. Well, this next one was giving me an 80, and 8 inches down, I got another little piece of a toy gun. Pretty cool, but I also got a bonus find. And usually it's a marble, but not this time. I can't say that I've ever found one of these before, but it is a toy light bulb. You can see the seam where it's been molded. That's pretty cool. Actually, you know what? Huh. I don't know, it might be the end of a pencil. Could be. Either way, pretty darn cool. Oh, I'll tell you what, I got something pretty cool in the hole there. It's getting to 72. up to an 80. And I dug down and there's like someone's sweater or shirt or something in here. And I kept going down because there was a target about 8 inches down. I popped it out. Oh man, what a shame it's crushed. But it is a killer 50s toy car. Probably a Tootsie toy. Seen better days, but it's all there. Very cool. One of my favorite things to dig up. And we've been over this area, Chris and I, many times here. So that's pretty awesome. About 8-9 inches down. Out pops an old toy car. Just killer. Well, I definitely want to thank Minelab so very much for sending that Equinox 900. And I really hope you enjoyed watching that machine being put through its paces. And here's another look at all the very cool things I was able to find with it in this episode. Well, I really hope you enjoyed watching this one, and if you did, please leave a quick thumbs up and maybe a little comment at the end. It really does help the channel out quite a bit. And don't go anywhere just yet, because I have even more amazing history coming up in just a few seconds. And remember, it's history that makes a find a treasure, and I can't wait to see you back here next week on Finding America.